got me an 83 C-10 on the rack. The problem is I ain't got no pipes on it. So my buddy Vic hit me up and he was like, bruh, I need some exhaust. The long tubes didn't fit. I said, bro, put some shorties on there. You ain't professionally drag racing this thing. And that whole 10 horsepower, 6,000 RPMs really ain't gonna make a difference. So I'll get this off the rack in a minute and show you how pretty it is, but first I'm gonna put an exhaust system on it. So I figured right now, I am here. I'll weld me up an X pipe and then come down either side of this drive shaft and either put some mufflers in this area or come all the way to the back and do it Corvette style and kind of put them in this area and just run the tips either side of the roll pan. So this has been a complete frame off restoration. Kind of like my Cutlass, he's been having this almost 20 years. And it's a project in the making. So he come over, you're gonna give me a hand. I'm gonna throw some pipes on this 83 C-10. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in here and get the angles on this pipe and this pipe the same. So when I'm looking down, see this one's a little lower than this one. I can get them even that way when I go to turn this pipe, it'll be straight with this side. So I was mocking up getting a game plan before I got started, and this pipe, it comes just right in the center. Nice. It's got a little downward angle to it. And that one's perfect right in the middle. So I could cut a little bit off of this pipe, bring it up some. That way I can get my X to come together right underneath the transmission tail shaft here. Supposedly what the X does is as like an extra scavenging effect. So being it's shorty headers with an extra bit of scavenging, it might even out like a long tube. The sound is amazing though. It'll give it that Corvette rap because this truck has been swapped to a 5.3. Stage 4 cam and all kind of high performance stuff. It's a little overbuilt for the street, but it's just a weekender, so let's see if we can make it sound good. All right, so I went to my favorite eBay place and I ordered some 2.5-inch mandrel bent stainless steel. It was only about 50 bucks more than the mild steel. I'll be buying this from now on. I can weld mild steel the same as this stainless. And I got mandrel bent 45s, 90s, and 180s, and 4 feet of this really, really pretty stainless 2.5-inch pipe. I'm gonna be putting on that 83 C-10. I bought 2 kits. It was about 250 bucks, 125 a kit or so. So I believe it's worth it, and it won't look like crap in a week underneath that truck over there. So let's get to welding. All right, so I got my pipe set right where I want it. It's coming down flat even with the frame. I'm gonna tack it to the down pipe off the shorty header, and then we'll weld it all the way through. Good. So we get the other side eyeball just the same. Eyeball leaving, son. Man, that thing is, that's like perfect. That's perfect twice, it's so perfect. Right. Give this one a tack up. I'm gonna get my stuff together one day, I promise. But for right now, I'm welding on a piece of wood on my plastic table. Yeah, once I get paid, I'm buying me a welding table. This is ridiculous. But this is gonna protect the plastic. I'm on a fold-out table right now. You gotta do what you gotta do, you know? Nice little flat weld, bro. This little machine, dude, it's not the fucking best machine, but it just needs to be airtight, you know what I mean? And then using the little C's instead of using the swirls definitely keeps the heat down. So it doesn't take as much heat as the mild steel. It's hot, but this will turn gold when it gets hot instead of rust. So that's pretty. All right, so in order the next pipe, but I need the X that goes off on 45s. So because I ordered so much pipe in my kit, got some extra 90. I don't plan on going out the back tires straight to the side, so I'm gonna cut the middles out, put them together, make my own X pipe. Kind of like my last video when I made my own Y pipe. So it's got belt ends and regular sized ends, and I'm just gonna cut an oval out of each side and weld them together. See if I can pull this off. I have sit here and tried to figure out every which way possible to try to get my angle on this saw to accept this pipe to where I don't cut it completely off. There just isn't gonna happen. So got my speed square. And I drew a 45 on this piece of board here that I can adjust. I have my wedge difference from the bell end to the regular end to hold it flat against the saw. So I'm gonna put my gloves on and give it hell and see what happens. Worst case scenario, I can't use it. So let's do it. One. All right, that's gonna be easy to clean up. That's halfway through. And let me go make another one here. I just gotta remember to keep my belt ends both on the same side. Let's do it. Sure I can use that for something later. This one's still cold. Alright. These pieces are like perfect. Make a metal football out of it. Like they're hot. I can't, but like they're like perfect. That's cool. This ought to work. Popped them two together and I got me an X pipe. Not bad for eyeballing it. All right, so two halves make a hole, right? So while my neighbor pulls up with his camper and everybody starts barking with the dogs, I got this half and this half, and when you put them together, it I clamp this and weld it. That's like that's an X pipe, dude. You can see right through the thing. So let's weld this and put this up under the truck. Right, so with the help of my trusty C-clamp, we got everything locked in where it needs to go. And we're gonna pop some welds on it, but I'm gonna do like a little bit of heat here and a little bit of heat there so it doesn't want to warp and it stays true on it. So it doesn't look the best, but it acts right when you do it like that. Flip the temperature. Now that's not going anywhere. Go ahead and lock this in. Put the heat on that side, so I'll put it over here this time. I only want to weld about 1 inch to 1.25 inches at a time, so I don't bend this. You put enough heat on something and it twists. So I'm gonna do a little bit of here and a little bit there until it gets done. I got this holding it together in the middle. Flip it and flip it. Hope it doesn't catch my wood on fire. All right, I'm not gonna bore you with welding it all the way around, but I'm gonna knock this out and cut you back in a second. Well, we got this mocked up. It's flowing exactly where it's supposed to. I got plenty of room. Got done making my X pipe. First time welding stainless. I like it. It worked. It come out great. Everything's equal length to the X, and so this is slip fitted in on both sides, and that's slip fitted on the other side of the transmission here and here. I'm gonna go ahead and put me some tack weld so it doesn't move. I got it exactly where I want it. The rear end's never gonna fall as far as it is now. So I can get a finger in between the drive shaft. We're actually gonna lower the truck, so it's never really gonna be in the way. But the pipes are higher than the frame. You'll never see them under the truck. So this is, it's coming out about as good as I hoped it could come out. Perfect. And we'll just keep rolling with it. And eventually, we're gonna fire it up for y'all. Wobble. So I'm gonna pull this off. Yeah, it would leak air, but it wouldn't ever go anywhere. So let's pull it off and make it airtight and slip it back on. It's a lot of in and out, you know? So in that kit, I had a couple 90s. Went and cut them. These aren't welded on yet for spacing, but I believe all the way in is going to be the way to go. It's the tightest way to get them to the drive shaft. And just, you know, it's all eyeballed, but that looks pretty straight to me. And I'm going to go ahead and grab this piece of length of pipe here. It's polished very, very pretty. And I got a piece of chain hung to help me hold this up. So that's where that's going to go. Go ahead and tack this in place so it doesn't move. And then as far as the muffler goes, I have the stainless steel, kind of Borla style. You could see right through them, really. Let's see. There you are. Yeah, it's a straight through kind of packed muffler. We want to put them about right here, kind of out of the crack where the rain and all falls through the back of the cab, off the muffler. And this will offset the muffler to go over the axle where I need it to go. So let's measure this, cut this, and put it back up, get it going towards the axle a little farther. So I can't really show you all this I'm doing here, but right here, it's hard to do this camera stuff and measure all at the same time. So I have a mark here where I need to cut this pipe to go back far enough. The cab lines up about here. Every time I had a muffler where the cab and the bed meet, where the rain falls on the muffler, the hot and cold actually wore the metal out and cracked the muffler. It's happened plenty of times. So setting it a little farther back. Then here is where it goes over the axle. So I have 4 of these 180s left in the kit that I bought. I'm going to cut this here, and this is a slip fit. So I'll take the belt end and actually slip this over here. That'll get me over the axle, and I can cut this at whatever length I need and take the other part of that and get me back going the other direction. So let's work on that and get this knocked out. So making these equal length, I'm just going to transfer the mark from one pipe to the other, cut them both at the same time. I got a little wiggle room, but that's pretty close. Go ahead and set the saw back up to 0. I'm going to use the belt end to go onto the X pipe. So I will cut this side of the line. We got room. Hold that for me, bro. I ain't never played with stainless steel pipe. It's always been mild steel or aluminized, and I really like it. It's like working with a glass mirror. It's freaking awesome, and it'll polish out. That's the best part. So I got my 2 pipes. Let's go tack them on. Lots of in and out and mocking up. Here's the equal length X pipe to the mufflers. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna weld all these seams up and get them nice and straight, tacked in. Then we'll go throw some mufflers on it and go over the axle.
Looks nice as shit.
Yeah. All right. So now we are still making progress. We got from the headers, equal length to the X. X splits the drive shaft. We decided to kick up the mufflers to kind of help straighten out that over the axle issue. We're still going to put the humps over the axle. We're doing that now. We're going to go up and over with these. Something like this. And since the muffler has got a straight tube that goes from here to here, heat rises. So it's kind of like a secondary scavenging effect, I believe. And it'll just help get the exhaust out of it a little bit better. So here's what we're looking like. Let's make some 180 over the axle pipes. So I have 2 180s under the truck. I'm going to take these 180s and cut them in half. That'll be my 90 up, 180 over, and then this will be my 90 at the back. That'll do. Just need to do it again with this. Yeah, that's even better. That's carbon copies. Back under the truck. All right, so we did some freelance chop saw work, and we've come up with this is about the angle we need. I grabbed my Freight Harbor pipe waddler and got them completely round. I figured I really didn't need to show any of that. However, how it's going to go over the axle is very similar to this on both sides. I'm going to kind of butt these up and weld them in place, and then we'll go over the axle and out the back. Then we get to fire it up and show you what it sounds like. I can't believe this flux core welder is welding the stainless this good. And it is stainless. It's not magnetic at all. We don't try to stick one to it. But 4 little tacks will hold it straight enough until I can get it exactly how it needs to be. That way I can break it apart if I need to. And I'm not sure where we need to cut this one yet as far as height goes to line the pipes up to go out the back under the roll pan. So we're going to tack this one in and get back to business. So we do it, professional Louisiana. Got it welded on the concrete. Whew, we are exhausted, let me tell you. But this is what we've got so far for today. We got the mufflers in, way away from the drive shaft. With these crazy over the axle tubes we made. It's coming out awesome. And we're gonna shut it down for the night, start it back up in the morning. Well, it's Sunday. I go to church on Sunday, so we're gonna start it tomorrow afternoon. It'll be done. We'll crank it up and get a couple revs out of this 5.3 with a BTR Stage 4 truck can and some shorty headers and 2.5-inch mandrel bent exhaust. And we're gonna run it all the way out the back. So when it's all over with, there'll be a nice pipe sitting about right here and one right here. Whew, exhausted.